Hello and welcome. We are the Untold Stories Project, and tonight we present a brand new episode of Tales of the Finest, our ongoing Blue Rose campaign set in a wonderful setting by Green Running Publishing, using the 5th edition version of the rules, which are currently available for pre-order and hardback and a PDF, which is out right now. My name is Jonesy, and I'll be the Game Master this evening. A quick note for those unfamiliar with Blue Rose. In Blue Rose, the players typically take on the roles of members of the Sovereign's Finest, commonly referred to as envoys, where they act as agents of the crown, taking on any number of challenges, such as settling border disputes, assisting with disaster relief, or in this case, dealing with Kurnish spies and trying to locate a lost tower hidden somewhere in plain sight. Um, a few quick housekeeping bits tonight before we jump into our stream. We are a very tiny streaming channel, but we are growing, and we do that with the help of everyone that's watching, whether watching us live now or watching us video on demand, either on Twitch or on YouTube. So if you do like what we do encourage you to do all the cool Twitch and YouTube things like, share, follow, subscribe, ring the bell notification. We got them all. So along with that, if you are watching live, you can assist the envoys by doing any of those activities. Will actually trigger points of inspire and other cool unlocks like the Queen's Favor, which lets you do extra cool stuff. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump on into meeting our envoys. So we're going to go around the table and ask the envoys to introduce themselves, tell the viewers who you are and who you're playing, along with today's question of the week, which is, which of your fellow envoys do you feel the most protective of, and why? So, with that, I'll turn it over to Alex first.
Me first? Uh-oh. Take that, Will.
Bye.
God, he's right. He is a blink dog.
My name is Alex, and tonight I will be playing the part of Drake, who is a Rye Raccoon rogue, swashbuckler archetype as of last episode. And as for the answer to the question of the day, I feel most protective over Kale because he is a sweet baby cleric who is afraid of the dark and needs a nightlight. And he's a ray of sunshine who likes to reach out and touch faces. I guess I'll pass it over to Andy.
Oh, yes. I wasn't sure which way we were headed. Hello, I am Andy. No, not that one. And I am playing, as usual, Vom Bondma, the champion fighter. Champion archetype. He's a knight person from Kern, the Democracy of Kern. So meeting these spies was a bit of a gut wrench for him. As for who he feels most protective of, probably Drake, just because he has this amazing ability to just sort of be in the middle of things and be getting beaten up on very severely without a whole lot of preamble. So he's learned to watch out for that.
Things get very dangerous very quickly around here.
Yes. And which way do I pass?
Up to you.
Aha! I'm going to pass this way. I'm going to pass to Brian.
Okay. Hey guys, this is Brian. I am playing Ula Bridenrunner. She is a sea folk barbarian, and the person she is probably most protective of is Vom, because we are both frontline buddies, and if we both die, so does everybody else.
Yeah. I keep them busy beating up on me while you beat up on them. It's a system.
I'll toss it over to Aaron.
Evening, everybody. I'm Aaron. I'm playing Tizra Vasker. They are a Vatasha warlock. And they are probably the most protective, strangely enough, also of Vom. But in their case, it's because Vom is a fellow refugee from Kern, and they just feel a certain kinship with that, and the whole we are from Kern and we're here trying to make a better life. And oh, by the way, neither of us are human, but here in Aldous, nobody holds that against us. So
He's nice.
that takes it over to Will.
Hi, friends. My name is Will. I play Kale Pelora. I'm the cleric, so I guess I'm protective of everyone. But if I have to pick, I think I'd choose. I don't know. Drake gets into a lot of trouble by himself, and I probably set Bomb's nose more than anybody else. So I'd pick between those two.
Awesome. So yeah, with that we have met our envoys. And tonight, Alex has volunteered to do a quick recap for us of what's going on and where we find our envoys tonight. So I appreciate that, Alex. And you'll be getting a point of inspiration for that. So.
Huzzah. Well, last time on Nether War, our heroes were
What?
on the road. Sorry, last time on Tales of the Finest, our heroes were on their way. Oh no, I can only recap in the style of Eminem Mondays. We were on our way to investigate this tower, the Tower of Felbridge. We were on our way to Felbridge. We were on the road.
Felbridge Spire. I
Felbridge
believe it is
Spire.
called.
That's it. We were on our way out there, and we ran into a lovely group of tourists out on the side of the road who very graciously agreed to let us share their fire with them. Until we realized that maybe they weren't just tourists. We passed drinks around, we had some conversations, we noticed a couple of sketchy things. But then we went to bed and everything was okay until Drake heard a voice in his head saying that they were keeping somebody there. And rather than telling the gang, because he is a rogue and rogues are prone to foolish ideas, Drake decided to sneak away and investigate himself, where he ran into a Knight of the Skull, which are these big, horrible dudes off of an Iron Maiden poster who wanted to cut my head off with a giant double-handed sword. The gang all sprang into action. We fought a bunch of people. Tisra was given word of her sister by a little Kurnish wizard who Tisra very handedly beat the crap out of and terrified all of us, even those of us who couldn't see the beatdown she administered. Their sister. And we ended it with all of us sort of office spacing the Knight of the Skull in the middle of the Cross of Pain, to very little effect. we were suffering very poor rolls all last session. But that's going to turn around tonight as we rejoin our heroes. And the owl broke out because I failed to pick the lock. There was an owl. There was a Rye owl. That was the voice in my head.
I think it was actually Tisra who kind of saved the day as far as getting the knight to surrender as well. I believe it was like a suggestion.
Oh right, yeah.
It was
Yes.
Tisra's idea.
Which saved us from getting beaten into more of a pulp than we already have been.
Yeah, no, Tisra was the one who did come in with the suggestion spell while you guys were having a series of really poor rolls. And, like, you laid the smackdown on the knight early on, but then...
I don't think I hit much of anything the whole time.
But then it was just one of those horrible series of miss.
Oh, yeah.
Hit for 3 points of damage. And yeah, I said, put your weapon down and surrender.
Yeah, I mean, that was brutal. That was rough. That was a rough fight.
That did not go well.
I mean, we did really well up until that point.
Yeah, at least then I didn't kill any of us.
That's,
We're all standing. We're on the right side of the dirt.
Everybody has their organs. Yeah.
But if we're looking at a percentage of life expectancy left, I'm down 75%. That night knocked 60 years off of my life.
So, with that, we find our envoys late at night / very, very early in the morning, depending on your perspective, in the small little caravan camp. Currently surrounding the knight, who is currently surrendered. Yeah.
Speaking of, are we still able to hear? I mean, are the because there were there were a couple of mooks who were off dealing with errant horses, which one of our numbers set free.
Yes, and so when the Ryal escaped and flew out, you did sense a psychic emanation coming from the owl,
Oh, right.
which has knocked out the remaining guards.
Ah,
So at
that's
this
right.
point, you have slipped out of combat. That's where we find envoys post combat at this point.
I'm gonna jump down off of the Knight of the Skull and just lay in the dirt for a second.
That's probably not sanitary, mate.
I need a breather. I need a second.
Perhaps we can get that sword away from him.
That seems wise.
I'm not taking that sword anywhere.
I'll pick it up and hoik it away somewhere where it's not going to be, just sort of like hork it off to the east somewhere.
Teaser, I haven't seen this kind of magic before. Do you know how long it lasts?
When I told him what to do,
Yeah. When's he gonna start stabbing us again?
I would not. Well, it's hard to say. It will last for some time, but if we try to hurt him, it will stop. And if he is strong enough willed, he might be able to break free.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, I would rather he didn't do that.
Well, yes.
So, Drake, you find anything worth talking about when you went off?
Well, I heard the voice of that Ryal over there in my head. Sounded like they were in trouble. I was going to try to sneak in and get them out.
And the Ryal flew out?
Yeah, don't know how they broke through the lock in there. I wasn't able to pick it.
Maybe all I needed was a distraction.
Maybe, but I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
Well, the thing I'm worried about is we were supposed to find our tower, but now we've got some spies to deal with.
Well, they seem to have been pretty thoroughly dealt with at this point.
They were probably looking for the tower themselves.
I think they used the tower to get in and out of here.
Right.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
And that's what the horses told me.
You talk to horses now.
Yeah. This on occasion.
Was it a rye horse?
No, just an underachieving horse, yes.
That is a very large owl.
That is a very large owl.
That's an owl bear.
Is it just whipping about or is it chilling out?
It's landed over on the table. I'll just grab him too.
Oh. You risked your life for him. Go talk to him, Drake.
Yeah, I'll go right now. And I'll sort of pick myself up out of the dirt, dust my little body off, and scamper over to say hello. So, what's your name? You
So-
alright?
As you approach the owl, you're actually getting a really good look at him for the first time now that you're not in a dark, shadowy, closed up wagon. And the owl is close to 2.5 feet. It's perched, sitting on. It's a big owl. And it is kind of like got light gray and slight brown feathers. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Now, I know historically owls and raccoons don't get along. I hope that's not us. A 4.
you also know that historically, Raiden don't really fall into those default settings.
Yeah, but there's like a little part of the prey part of my brain that's like, that's the reason I rolled a 4 on my perception check.
So yeah, it looks like a big older owl. You see, he's got one eye is kind of cloudy. He's got like a little chip taken out of his beak that you can tell. As you approach, he kind of does the little head nod, kind of greeting kind of thing.
Kind of bow a little low. I think we dealt with your captors.
I appreciate the assistance.
Anytime. Know what they were after, or why they took you, or where are you from?
I hail from the Icebinder Mountains.
Oh, you're a Kernish owl. Or are you on the other side, on the Aldous facing side of the mountain?
I hunt the mountain range.
Right. You're a bird. You can go wherever you want. That makes sense. Why'd they take you? Just because you were a Rye, or?
I am a gifted adept.
I don't suppose you're gifted in, like, opening portals, are you?
That's what they were forcing me to do.
Sort of look back at the group.
With that, the owl kind of coughs a little bit, and as it does, he kind of coughs up a slug of black viscous liquid, and just kind of drops to the ground.
Hey, one of the two legs traveling with me. They're gifted at the art of putting people back together again. If you want some help.
Those skills will do nothing to help me.
What's wrong?
My affliction is not natural.
Kale and Teesra, can you all come over here and take a look at this?
Sure.
My friends are better at understanding arcane things. If it's okay with you, if they take a look.
Sure. As the two of you walk on over, I welcome you to make either an Arcana check or a Medicine check, whichever you prefer.
I think I'll try medicine. No.
I did a 25, natural 20 for medicine.
Never mind. I can't beat that.
Wow.
You can still go and make a roll. You might pick up something slightly different.
I also got a natural 20 or a 24.
Apparently, Roll21 should know all the secrets. Please.
I mean, I still can't beat that 25, but
very much. Now, Roll20 is like, hey, give them all the secrets. So, as you approach, and it probably helps that I'm assuming Kale has a source of light nearby and with them. And as they walk closer, there is light coming off the fire pit they had going, but still. Now, you can see the owl, like I said, rather large owl, kind of a light tones of light gray, a little bit of whites and browns mixed in. And as you approach Kale, you immediately pick up on the fact that he's definitely older, but he's got kind of a cloudy eye. One of his eyes is all cloudy, and you obviously can't see very well out of it. He's got a chip out of his beak. You see that his feathers seem to be kind of a little distraught, and his wings are kind of patchy in places, and he just looks like very battered. and Aaron, as you approach, you kind of pick up some of the similar things, but you also kind of get a sense off of him of decay and rot, which you immediately recognize as a physical manifestation of corruption.
Mhm.
So, this owl has been performing occult magics.
Is there anything we can do to help him?
There is. You've been working with powders that are better left untouched.
Unfortunately.
There is not a great deal that can be done to quickly remove the corruption. But
Mr. Owl, do you know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
I was waiting for it.
And I'll just sort of look and... Did you send anybody to the tower yet?
There's in the nearby grove, there's a place in the earth that the road can be forced to open.
I'll sort of look up at my two friends like, I don't know what to do with him or with the situation.
I mean, is he just dying slowly, or is he infected and can spread it around?
no, it is. The shadow can infest it. Those who use its powers become marked by it and tainted by it, but it is not irreversible. It simply takes time and the ability to walk in the light. He is more a threat to himself than to others.
That's not the worst thing.
And if he is able to resist what he has been forced to do, it will take care of itself with time.
Well, that sounds like good news.
Yes, except for the part where we basically wanted to ask him to do the thing that he's been forced to do.
Is there another way to open the gate?
Do we have to open the gate? He's the only key, right? So if we release him, they don't have a way to get back here, and the problem ends.
Until they find another one.
Kale's got a good point. Unless there's a way inside there that they can open the door.
And we can try searching the wagons for something. Have you asked them about your sister yet? Tizra?
Not yet. The one who spoke of my sister is still unconscious and tied up.
Speaking of which, have we immobilized everybody properly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as you're speaking and talking amongst yourselves about the what to do, can he help it? He will chime in, but there is in the cabin, in the wagon, there is a tome that contains the information you need how to get across.
Well, that's good news. We don't want you to have to do it again.
No, we do not.
Go ahead and get in the wagon, start looking for said book.
Do we think the wizards in this group didn't do it because they were worried about what happened to their bodies, or do you think they're not capable of it?
I suspect their shadow chicken is not as gifted.
Amateurs.
It is. I certainly worry that there may be other ways they can open these gates.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Somebody had to have managed it in the first place.
And there's that dark mistress we still haven't met yet.
Right.
I'm sure if they're all powerful, they're bad news.
So I assume we take the book, right? We open the portal ourselves, figure out how to close it from the other end. But what do we do about this bunch of people?
Tie him up and get him ready to take back to Aldous when we're done here.
I would agree if this would take like 20 minutes, but I don't know what's going to be on the other side of that portal. Maybe we can have our bird friend message our bird friend for pickup. I mean, if they're spies, that's more serious than I would want to leave alone.
Well, maybe we also want to get some sleep before we. None of us have actually slept.
That's true.
I don't know about anyone else, but I will not be very useful without my beauty sleep.
I need a nap.
So maybe we talk to the knight, have the owl arrange for pickup since he can fly there as a favor, deliver a message, and then we'll do a handoff and then go look at the portal while they're doing the pickup.
Hey, Jonesy, how far away are we from the city?
Several hours.
Do you think
But-
you're up to a trip like that, Mr. L?
You could ask his name, you know.
I did. He didn't. He didn't give it to me.
Do you say that comment out loud?
Yeah.
And you can ask his name.
Yeah.
You call it Orin.
Orm?
Orin.
Orin. Okay. Well, Orin, do you think that you could make the trip back to Aldous safely? and deliver a message to one of our confidants?
So
Lauren, what do you want?
I want to rest.
That seems fair.
I've been held captive for quite some time.
Well, you'll be safe in our camp.
So, what are we settling on then?
I think we all take a rest, and then after that rest, we can see if Orin is feeling up to flying back to the city to deliver a message to Soot. Or I could try to reach out psychically to Soot.
I was trying to think. It's like you and I both have the ability to do a sending.
And given your experience and your dealings with Soot, you would know Soot well enough to make out that kind of call, even from this distance.
Yes, it's as long as we're on the same plane, it is no difficulty.
Fancy.
Nice. I'll start picking up sleepy guards and tossing them into one wagon altogether, so they're all in one place and tied up.
Oh, that brownish one over here has a pretty good lock on it.
Yes.
There we go.
Before we lock them all up, I certainly need to ask questions of Devata.
Well, we need to ask questions of the night.
Yes, we
That
do.
too.
But
Yeah.
What's he doing?
Okay, I'll leave those two out here, and I'll just pick up all the jobbers and the kids.
Yeah, the kids are still the young lads are still well awake. They haven't been knocked out. They just, when you find them, they just kind of cower a little bit, and they're very like, hands up, like, leave us alone. We didn't do anything,
Well, I feel bad, but I'm not out here taking risks. I'm gonna tie up the kids and put them in a separate wagon.
Tidra is.
They were hanging out with spies. Yeah.
Tidra wants to talk to the children, and in their most calm, persuasive manner, is going to do the, speaking to them in Kernish. Say, I'm also from Kern. I know what they do to children. Were you taken from your families?
The one lad kind of, and by lad I mean these kids are 12, 13-ish, so they're not little kids, but they're obviously not adults yet either. But the one kid kind of nods yes, and the other kid goes, my father gave me over to them.
Or are you touched by magic?
No. And both of them shake their heads no. No, we my pa said I had an inkling for the sword, and he wanted me to become a squire, so I can be over to the Scarlet Watch.
If you are willing to trust us and to go with our friends, we can give you the ability to go to Aldous, where you could still become a knight, but do so with a clear conscience. You would have choices. You would not be forced into a path.
you.
Um, Teesra is going to reach into their pack and pull out a bracelet that they made that has a sword charm on it, and give it to this boy, and say, if you wish, when you are safe safely there, take that to the academy and ask for Martin, and he will know that you are a friend of mine, and he will treat you well.
Thank you.
Right. So we definitely have to make sure that these children are safely escorted back.
Definitely. And I will continue to tie them up and put them in that separate way for their safety.
As you're prepping the wagons and stuff to hold the hostages, I mean the spies, you do see that in one of the wagons, they're carrying a lot of supplies, foodstuffs, things like that. They do also seem to be carrying several extra weapons. They seem to be carrying rather plain robes that you've seen before. It looks like they've been supplying the cult supplies from Kern.
Are there any alchemical supplies in there, Jonesy?
There are not.
And do we have the book yet, or are we still like digging through the stuff?
So you do find one of the wagons. You do find the tome that you're looking for. It is a rather hefty-looking black book with wrought iron bindings on it and a heavy-duty leather strap that was binding it closed.
Gotcha. I guess I'll hot potato that to Teesra.
It's a pretty intense spellbook.
Say, is it magical beyond being a spellbook?
It is not, but it is a spellbook.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of just like a crappy user's manual for like a factory device, except it's a portal.
Written in 5 languages. None
How
of
to
them well.
restart your T36 dimensional portal in 5 easy steps.
Have you tried putting it on and off?
But man, it's written.
How old is the virgin blood in the system? Is it pressurized?
Is it cross-contaminated?
So as you unbuckle the binding of the book and open it up, you start skimming through it to see what's in it. It is a ton of spells. Most of them are occult in nature. There is some notes in the margins and stuff. And you can see that this tome once belonged to someone known as Thaddeus Eben.
Should that name mean something to us?
It should not mean anything to you. It might mean something to the people watching the stream, but it will mean nothing to you.
Fair
Well,
enough.
that's fun.
That takes the pressure off.
Good to know.
Okay, so we got the book. The hostages are tied up. Are you guys sending the message now for us to sleep, and we'll wake up to deal with it?
Yes. Well, so what is the message? What do we want to send?
Send help immediately.
Oh, that sounds like we're in trouble.
We're not in trouble.
Say that we're not in trouble.
I I don't know the rules of sending.
Sorry to bother you.
Just tell them we picked up a couple of spies and 2 refugees being touted across the interdimensional portal border thing from Kirk. There you go.
All right.
Sending is like the magical equivalent of Twitter. You have so many characters.
Right. It's 25 words.
Oh yeah.
Trying to remember. We have a landmark here, right? Like, I mean, the tower is not actually here, but there is some geographic feature that describes where we are, right?
It's a pretty open field. I mean,
But we told Split where we were headed, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not far from the main road. You took a small little like hunting path, local like route kind of off the main road. That's heading south. So, and with that, you can also send a mental picture of the clearing and where you're at. So,
yeah, let me just grab the map for you.
and it's not like you wouldn't have an aerial view of the area. It is a ride crow after all.
Right.
All right, hold on. I think I've got 25 words here. 1, 2, 3.
That's what you could send them a Snapchat. Here's a picture of the map and where we are, and you just flavor that up.
All right. Have made our way to where the tower should be, defeated several Kurnish spies, have refugees, send assistance.
Mm-hmm. Send a
We
wagon.
have 7 words left.
Hashtag corruption. Hashtag.
Envoy life.
We will continue the investigation.
Did we mention anything about the super scary man who's standing over there, who we still haven't dealt with?
He's been tied up by this point, I hope.
I think he falls under spy, just like a very tough spy, like a murderer.
All right, fine. Defeated several Kurnish spies and Skull Knight, have refugees, send help forwards.
Please and thank you.
Awesome.
All right, yes. So that is what I'm sending.
Now is it nap time or interrogation time?
Well, we definitely want to interrogate, but we should nap and we should also set a watch.
Yes, we should.
Part of me is inclined to say, actually, wait for the interrogation until the morning. On the other hand, at the minimum, we can expect that their Vata is also able to send a message.
Right.
I would agree with that.
And
And
if
it
they're on
might
a
be
different
easy.
plane of existence, it can't be to the people in the tower.
Fair, but Kern is much closer than another plane of existence.
And also by morning, the our friend the Skull Knight is not going to be as cooperative as he is right now. So we might want to talk to him before we fold for the night.
Yeah, we should. Yes, I think you're right. We should at least talk to him.
Awesome. So, you guys make arrangements. You send off the sending, and you get the psychic impression that it was delivered, and you're able to pull over the Skull Knight to some place where the group of you or whoever is involved need to politely ask for questions that you have for.
Now remember, we can't rough him up either. So
Oh, he's not charmed. He's only suggested.
right.
Yes, but if we are violent towards him, it will break the suggestion.
Well, I'm going to make the first suggestion.
Was as I believe you can actually have, as I think you can continue to offer suggestions as long as you maintain concentration, right?
Can you suggest he takes off that very heavy protective armor?
Can you make him do it to music in his head?
I cannot give him another suggestion without casting the spell again.
Oh, excuse me.
And I told him to lay down his sword and surrender.
Gotcha. Well, let's just start the conversation.
Now, because he surrendered, we can probably secure him. That wouldn't violate harming him or I mean, that is part of following the suggestion. If you are surrendering, you are allowing yourself to be captured. So we could probably secure him.
Yes.
We just can't hurt him.
We probably
He's-
should.
Yeah, he is currently, secure. He is currently bound up. So
We'd love to see that. Who wants to talk to him first?
I think Teaser has dibs. This seems close to home.
Isra does not want to be the one to question the knight. I have words for the Vata, but
Okay.
I've got a feeling he's not going to want to talk to me. Called me an abomination, so.
Well, he's not going to talk to me. I think Kale's the only person who is technically a person in his opinion.
Well, yeah.
That's good.
Hello, how are you today?
Hello, Mr. Skull Knight. This is our cinnamon roll.
My name is Kale, as they said. We have some questions for you. I'm not entirely sure that I'm privy to what they all are, but I will do my best. What are you doing out here in this neck of the woods?
I was tasked to protect these idiots. He kind of looks over. It's a couple of the other guys that are knocked out. The brothers, the twins.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I think I might have helped put them in the condition that they're in. Sorry if that looks negatively on you. Do you know who they are?
Yeah, I know who they are.
Would you like to tell me?
See if he double checks his notes to make sure he doesn't miss any names.
They did give us they gave us names.
Yes.
They may not have given us their names, but they gave us names.
Um,
Are they the same names that you already gave us?
yeah,
the
yeah,
Deacon and- okay.
Meekin and Feltor.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure they weren't lying. Cool. Do you know why they're here? Like, what are you all doing out here?
We've been sent by the Shadow Seven to help the local Shadow cult.
And what is it exactly that they're doing?
They think they found a way into the Shadow itself, and they're looking for this the former sorcerer queen.
Okay. If I said the words Dark Mistress, would you know who that is?
The former sorcerer's queen.
But like a name, like a...
Yeah, sorry. Steve's spacing.
Oh, sorry.
I know this. I really should. But my boss doesn't want you. Lady Deshay, the queen of the first empress of Aldous.
Ooh.
And she's in the spire.
The spire seems to be a lightning rod that exists here and can reach beyond.
You're very smart. Thank you for all of this information. I'm furiously writing notes. And so you need the bird and the book to get to and from. Do they have a book or a bird on the other side?
If their magics go according to plan, they won't. The tower will come back onto this side and bring with it the vestige of the shadow.
Oh, that's not good. Okay. Or it is good, depending on if that's what you want, which I assume you do. So, hooray for you! You're a step ahead of us. I don't know. You've been very helpful. Do you have any cool things on you? I'd like to play with them.
I want to be Kale when I grow up.
He seems confused by that question.
Like magical items or cool weapons that do fun things. I'm very weak. You're very strong. You can afford to.
I rely on my skill and my training.
Well, of course, we all do. It would be silly to rely on things that we're not skilled in.
As opposed to the crutches of occult sorcery or arcana.
Okay. Well, I'm done with the witness, I think. Can I take just one like big glance at him and see if I can see anything occulty or shadowy based on my scarred background?
Sure.
Okay. Insight, or is there something special?
No, I think insight's a good call. I think it's a good,
Okay.
a good one.
I got a 7.
That would be so nothing other than the fact that he was big and imposing and
Yeah,
that's scary
you're-
all on its own.
You're very pretty. Thank you for letting me look. I will awkwardly walk away. And I will share all of that information.
Well, that sounds good to me. I'll tie up Mr. Surrender.
For those from Kern, you do know not long ago the Lich King of Kern was dispatched. He was killed by Queen Jalen of Aldous. If the Shadow Cult from here and the Kurdish spies think that the old Empress might be on the other side of the Shadowfell, they might also buy that could be where the remnants of the Lich King is as well.
Oh, that's terrible.
We definitely don't want that.
You're welcome.
We don't want that one bit.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Yay.
Yeah. Welcome to all of our nightmare.
Maybe that's where the golden heart is. We'll be optimistic.
Okay. So
Sounds like-
is
Oh, go ahead.
well, I was just going to ask: is that everything we're doing before we rest then, or
I think
So no-
Teaser has a friend that they had to speak with.
Yes, although my friend was knocked unconscious, so
Is sending? Do you have to use your hands for sending?
no.
Oh, it's just a mental thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes.
Everybody who needs new spells, go take a nap. Guess me and Vom will be the first couple watches, and then we'll trade off, and hopefully the pickup will be here by morning.
Good
I
choice.
can always do the first watch if anybody needs. I haven't actually been hit.
I'm going to go take a big long nap.
I need a bit of rest. I do not need a full night's sleep yet.
Oh, well, I need a full night's sleep.
Yeah, Kale, you go get your full night's sleep.
Okay,
Yeah,
have
get
a
your magic.
lovely evening. I have a face mask to do. Excuse me.
You gotta be careful with those kills. I put one of those on and I never was able to take it off again.
I mean, Teaser does need to rest, but they only need a short rest to regain spells. So they could, if they can get a nap, then they can take a watch and then sleep later. So
Okay.
I'm taking
So
a full
we-
rest.
Do we sleep without incident, Jonesy?
You sleep without instinct.
Hooray.
Things are coming up us.
hey, just you go away.
So with that, you awake to this. Actually, you do awake. You were sleeping pretty soundly. For those who are still asleep, the last people in the last watch, you see several horses approaching and a black shadow dart from the sky above. As you awake to the sound of horses, and you see a crow has flown over and landed in the camp with you.
So,
Morning.
Nods his little head and tips his beak.
I don't suppose you've got more than just you on your way, do you?
And with that, you almost on cue, you hear several neighing of some horses in the back. Now you see a small group of envoys arrive on horseback. They look like senior envoys, some experienced envoys, and along with the envoys, you see there are 3 envoys that have arrived on horse, and you also see a Knight of the Rose decked out in full field plate, just in case.
Wow.
nice?
You said Knight of the Skull was here, so they put him heavy on their own too.
They responded appropriately.
They take that seriously.
Well done, them.
Well, I hope they're all coming with us to the other side.
Hmm.
Probably not.
Remember, we're not supposed to be out here. We're camping here, folks.
I think Soot
Yes.
gave away our secret mission when he brought all these envoys out here.
Well,
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I will psychically ping Soot and say, "Did you give away our secret mission?"
at this point, I caution is more important than discussion.
Well, you get to tell Quinlan. I'm not telling Quinlan.
Well, Teaser, I think you should talk to your guy before the other envoys start asking questions about what we're up to.
Yes. So Teaser is going to go up to the wake. Make if they aren't awake, wake the other Vata up.
As you approach, he was awake. He was pretending to not be awake, but he was awake.
So, explain.
The twins are idiots. That's what our cover was born.
Yes. That's not what I'm talking about. What do you know about my sister?
And with that, he gets a kind of a malicious looking grin on his face. Oh, that's what you're asking about.
Yes.
Oh, there's a strong family resemblance between you and your sister. I may have met you before.
Where is my sister?
Probably in the dining hall at this point.
Sorry.
He looks around like he's looking at check the placement of the sun. Probably at the dining hall at this point with the rest of the students.
Students?
Did you know? Your sister is rather talented.
You've conscripted her then.
She's doing what's best for Kern. Studying at the Academy of the Arts at Kern.
At least she's alive.
Unless she fails her exams, yes. She currently resides with all the others would be members of the Shadow Taken in the heart of the capital city itself. Training to do its best and give your life from
Tidra is really struggling not to just hit him.
Yeah, what you do know, what your character would know, is that in the capital city of Kern itself, actually not just a hair's breadth from the actual main capital. Well, what was the remains of the tower that was the main tower of the Lich King, until Jalen's attack devastated and destroyed half of it. Just down the street from it is the academy, which is where gifted would-be adepts are taken for training / indoctrination.
Right.
Yeah. And from there, that they're usually assigned to either the to help with the war effort, or they're assigned as part of the Crimson Guard, which are the kind of like the not so secret police of Kern.
Right. Which of course is what my fate would have been if our parents hadn't hidden me.
Yep.
And tried to get both of us back to over to Alda, yeah. But...
if anything he says would be in the sky can be believed. So yeah.
Yeah, but the fact that he recognized is suggestion that at least the part of her being there is not bullshit. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing else Teaser can say. They're just going to walk away.
Well,
So while that was going on, the rest of the envoys that have arrived start basically prepping to take the wagons with the captives away. You do see that the knight captain of the Blue Rose, the Knight of the Blue Rose, she has gone over and is talking to the young lads. And has basically unbound them, and so they're gonna come back with them, but they're not gonna be tied up.
Look at that. We made a difference in someone's life.
Teaser will talk to the one who they had talked to before and just remind them, remember the name, Martin.
Okay. The kid panically shakes his head. Yeah, yes, I will. And thank you.
Soot, I'm not sure if you've seen our friend Oren over here yet. Do you think that maybe we could get them some magical attention? It seems that there's substantial corruption that's occurred, potentially against its will. Do we have the resources to be able to get rid of something like that? Or expedite it?
You may not, but I do believe I have some friends in Tranquil Waters that could assist with something as severe as this. I will have to reach out to the head of that Raiden Enclave and see what they can do to assist.
So
Sure.
I would like to request our next mission be at some place called Tranquil Waters instead of Felbridge Spire.
Be careful what you wish for. Tranquil Waters is while it is a Raiden Enclave, it is deep in the verdant marsh, not far from Serpent Haven.
I wonder if they have a questing pack.
Plug. It may show up in one of the novels. Serpent's Haven and Tranquil Waters may show up in one of the novels.
I'm not sure that Oren will want to go. It seems wrong for us to not see that story a direction that could be beneficial. I believe that he just wants to be free, but if we could alleviate some of this darkness, that might be helpful.
Well, I will speak with him and see what we can do to help. If he is being corrupted by shadow, then it is sure is feeling the effects, and we can ease his pain. And I'll speak to him.
Before you do that, are you going to ask us to go into the spire alone? Is that what's about to happen here?
I can see about getting you some assistance if you feel that you need it. I do know that depending on the members you go in with, though, you might draw more attention than you would if you went into a small group. But I will leave the tactics of that to your circle to decide.
Sure. Yes, smarter minds than me will make that decision, I'm sure. But okay. Thank you. Goodbye.
So with that, is anyone else going to be talking to Soot or any of the other visiting envoys? Or
I'm getting the horses ready to go to that little grove.
Yeah, I'm preparing. I don't have anything to say to any of the envoys. I'm just trying to keep a low profile.
Backing up.
Oh.
I think
go ahead.
I would like to look at this book and see if this ritual is something that one of us can do.
Maybe not in front of the other envoys.
Yeah, let's wait until they're gone.
Okay.
Unless we need one of them to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why we would hide it from them. It seems like they already know everything.
Oh, that's true.
No, they're just doing a pickup. They don't even know who requested the pickup.
That's probably not true. Such suggested that he told them.
But it might just look like some nice summer reading on my end.
Yeah. How to Curse Idiots for Dummies is written in big, bold text on this black gothic book.
The book does look like something else. You pick up freshman year at the Shadow Academy up in Kern. So,
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have like a giant skull on it or anything like that, but
Sure.
I mean, it is kind of
This
heavily
const-
and it's not a delicate book or handcraft crafted with fine details. It's just a big leather bound book with black wrought iron bindings.
I think it's written in human blood.
It's just bleeding bad energy.
It's writing blood. I mean,
Oh no.
There we go. That's what I like to not hear.
I mean, I would prefer to read it while there are stronger people here who might be able to fix me if I if I become not myself.
Crack it. What's the first verse say?
It says, and I will read.
First verse, same as the second verse.
You better not read it out loud.
Are you reading the Latin out loud? Yeah, the first little kind of intro bit is just about Thaddeus Eben. He is it definitely seems like the ramblings of someone who's dealt with too much occult magics and corruption from the shadow over the years, and he's a little bit rambly. That it based on a couple of dates and stuff you see in the first couple of pages, it's probably a couple 100 years old at this point. And
I will
then
look quickly in the back and see if there's an index that says where the spells.
But then as you start flipping through it and looking for the spells and stuff, you find a section that talks all about his theory that this sorcerer occultist had about the fact that the great wheel isn't just a wheel, but there's layers to the wheel, and that there are inflections of the lands that we know, that we can see. One being pulled towards the exarchs, and one being pulled towards the forces of the Lords of Light and wild energies, and one he refers to as the Shadowfell, and he actually even makes mention that maybe that's where the Golden Heart resides, is in the Shadowfell, and that it manifests on the physical plane as we know it. And it goes into all the stuff about that if the Shadowfell, if there is a plane in between them, spirits and souls that have been cast out of the Great Will have to reside somewhere. So they would be, if there's corruption or if they are touched by the shadow and the exarchs, they would be pulled towards the shadow and therefore might end up in lands of the Shadowfell. The theory being that that's where since they know according to legend that the first empress was barred from the Great Will and could not reincarnate, but her soul would need to go somewhere. So it makes sense that it would go into this
Shadowfell.
yeah, this layer in between, this echo of the world as you know it. And
As I'm- Oh, sorry.
and this is where Steve is blending the D&D concept of Shadowfell and Fairy Wild into Blue Rose lore for the 5e version of the book.
Sure. No, that's awesome. Do I get a sense that this is like a strictly occult or necromantic spell that makes this portal?
It is not necromantic, but it is a cult.
Okay. Do I? And there's probably some crazy role involved with this. Is there a way that I, looking at the spell, can try to invert it into something more radiant and have the same effect of still being able to travel without using it occult means?
No.
Okay.
Specifically because now you may be able to twist the spell to go someplace else, but to get to where you're trying to go into the Shadowfell, no, that the energies from the Shadowfell itself actually are invoked and lead through the spell to make it to go there. Now, if you're using a version of it to maybe force a way into the Feywild, that may not cause an occult effect.
Sure. My last question: do I get the sense that I could do this spell, or that it will require someone else?
Possibly, but it's definitely farther out of your wheelhouse.
Okay.
Basically, it can be cast as a ritual, but as an arcane ritual, not a divine ritual.
Gotcha. I will share that with the group. It might be something that I can do, but it probably seems more up Teaser's alley, or perhaps someone else who either came this way, or I don't know. Do we ask Orin to do it one more time?
No.
No, I don't think we should ask Orin to do it again.
I don't want to ask anyone to do it, but it seems like we don't have a choice. They said that, they'll probably be able to bring the whole spire back by themselves if we don't get there to stop it.
No, we don't want that.
They don't need a bird or a book.
And not just the spire, a whole bunch of the shadow energies itself.
It's almost like activating this portal has a price for that power.
You would think, huh?
I mean, I'll do it. I've been touched by shadow before.
You have?
Oh, surprise!
I've never even been to that brothel before.
Yes. It's not a pleasant experience. I wouldn't wish it on other people. I will do it. I don't know if my previous encounter makes me more immune or more vulnerable, but I've come back before, and I believe in the right hands I can come back again.
The Teaser, do you want to take first crack, or do you want let Kale take first crack then?
Can we share the load?
So the GM is trying to figure out whether or not...
We can both take half a crack.
The GM is trying to figure out whether or not he can do it, or Teaser can do it.
Oh, Teaser can do it. I know Teaser.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me rephrase. I know it's within Teaser's wheelhouse to be able to do it.
Can we all work together to do it, like in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Let's just all hold hands, kumbaya. The portal opens to hell.
If that'll work, we kind of have to do it that way.
I mean, Teaser is 100% willing to take the corruption themselves.
Yeah. You've already mortgaged your soul. It's not that big of an issue.
least an option to buy.
It's a violated contract with the Autumn Knight, the Autumn King.
Nah.
Yeah, but the difference is the Autumn King is not a force of shadow.
Just consider this refinancing.
Force of nature. So the group is discussing, about the book and best approaches and Kale or teaser and who should do it. Before the rest of the other envoys leave, is there anyone that wants to say anything that or ask anything from the envoys or from Soot or any of them? Basically, this is your chance. If you want backup, you can ask for backup and Soot can see what they can do to get backup for you.
I'm good to head out as the group is.
Maybe we should tell them to stick around just in case this goes sideways.
Want to bring them to the Grove and then watch us go through, or bring them through?
Like, not come with us, but, like, just keep an eye on the portal just in case. We're not the ones who come out the other side.
Well, if that's what you want, then is that what you suggest? Then Sit will say he can arrange for him, and these envoys will have these envoys take the spies back to Aldous, and then we'll see if we can find some other envoys to help kind of keep an eye on the area.
And just in case anybody else comes back who wants to make horrifying shadow-laden use of this.
Okay. We're going to their front door right now?
Yeah, I just think that's responsible.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
And I mean, if any of you have like flaming swords and things that deal massive damage, now's the time to hand them over to the people who are less trained going on to fight in the evil castle.
Don't worry, Kale. We're just doing recon.
For good or for bad, heavily arcane items are not common in well, minor arcane items, but like flaming swords and stuff, not so common in Blue Rose.
I figured, but
They exist, but not very often.
You're worrying too much. You're gonna be fine. You've got 18 AC. You'll be okay.
yes.
So with that, the group of you have made your way over to the small grove. So there's nearby. There's a small grove. Walking through it, you enter into an old circle, a clearing. In this clearing, you see a few well-placed stones that kind of ring the inside of this clearing. This appears to be, at least according to what you can tell, a natural clearing. These stones seem to be very, very ancient. Probably standing from before the Great Rebellion and before the rise of the Empire of Thorns and back to the Age of Wonders. Ancient. And they're kind of a gray slate granite, and they're covered. A lot of them partially covered in moss and things like that. And over onto the north side of the clearing, you see two of the trees are very sloped and bent, and there's some underbrush growing that almost seems to make a natural circular-ish shape.
All right, portal people.
Yeah, for those of you in tune with arcane energies and the like, you definitely feel like this is a place of power. It's a natural intersection of various arcane and mystic energies. Your best guess, if you're looking at your maps back in Aldous, of where two ley lines intersect, would be probably here.
And Peace, you're certain you want to do this?
Oh, I'm certain I don't, but I'm certain that we need to, and I would rather take it on myself than ask anyone else to do it.
I feel the same, but it is your area of expertise, so I will defer to you.
Look at it this way: if one of us is going to become corrupted by shadow, you're the one who is better suited to try to pull someone back than I am.
I guess that's true. And I will cup your head with both of my hands, and I will say, I'm sure you don't need this, but I'm rather fond of you, so don't fuck this up. And cast I will cast protection from evil and good on Tizra to protect them from shadow for the next 10 minutes.
Nice. Yay.
That's all I got. So, like, best of luck.
I'm stepping way back and standing behind a tree.
I mean, do you have guidance prepared today?
Guidance, I don't believe, is one of my cantrips, but I can
Okay.
check. But you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by shadow.
Hey.
And you have advantage on any saving throw against anything shadow. And any shadow that attack you have disadvantage.
Great.
So that's the best I got for you.
Hey, no, that's not nothing.
The advantage is going to be the big thing. So with that, Tizra, as you grab you get off the horse and everything else, and you grab hold of the tome, and as soon as you start touching the latch and starting to unbuckle it to prepare to do the ritual, the wind starts picking up ever so slightly. Your capes and cloaks start ruffling and catching the breeze. The wind seems to take on a slightly chiller, more autumn feel. Crack open the book and proceeding to start the ritual. Is that correct?
Okay.
With that, Tizra begins to recite the incantations and the mystical languages that need to open this portal. As they are going through and starting to do the rite, clouds slowly start coming in and covering the area, and starts becoming a dark cast, even though it's day. The sun is now lost behind storm clouds, which are slowly gathering around the area. And as the ritual goes, the wind picks up and swirls faster and stronger. You do feel the smell of decay and autumn on the fall on the wind smell, which I'm not sure if it's the right or Tizra's connection to the Autumn King, and as you do see that there's a faint glow coming from some of the small stones that are ringing the area, and it seems to be a glow coming from underneath the moss of some of them. And as you do, it appears to be that there's small sections of Shaw's crystal kind of inlaid in these, and that's what's starting to glow. I'm going to need a wisdom saving throw from Tizra.
Yay.
You're so wise. I believe in you.
Oh, I'm glad someone does.
Now, would this be covered by the protection spell?
They would have advantage on this because of the good movement.
All right. Well, that's good because my wisdom saving throw is not great. Wrong thing.
I believe in you. Sending good vibes.
That is a 14 with advantage.
Yeah. So, as Tizra is going through and reciting the spell, the wind picks up. There's a clash of lightning and a clap of thunder as the smog glowing off the stones gets brighter, and on that small, those small couple trees that could bend and have a circular effect due to the odd growth, you see what appears to be a set of sigils kind of begin to erupt and light around them, and the area in the gap in between is a swirling vortex of energy. The portal begins to open.
Everyone, be ready. I don't know how long this is going to last.
So there's nothing left now but to go through.
Sure.
I think so.
Vom will kind of like get his hammer in his hand and take a step through.
Beefy boys in front, let's go.
And with that, the group of you begin to step forward and step through the portal. And with that, is we'll take our first break.
Woo.
Wow, awesome. Well, everybody, get up and stretch and grab a glass of water, grab a snack, watch the ads on our carousel to see what other games we've got going on this week, and we'll be right back.